Quite a mix of kind of tech bigwigs and Saudi government officials today in Washington, where they had a discussion about the future of artificial intelligence as well. We saw the likes of Elon Musk there and the Nvidia CEO, Jensen Huang, there up on stage. And, you know, they were saying, among other things, that it's time to ramp up AI investment even more than what we've already seen, if that's possible. Maybe it is with Saudi money, right? Doug Flynn's here with more. Doug, welcome. We've been spending a lot already on AI. It's it's always interesting to hear from these guys. I get to Nvidia in a moment because they report their earnings tonight.
Right.
But what do you think? You think of the potential here versus the idea that we're kind of going a little bit too fast or getting out over our skis here with how much we're spending, and people start thinking about bubbles and the like. What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, it's coming at us fast, and I think that's part of the issue, is that it almost has to be fast. That's just the nature of AI, really. And the Saudi investment, that basically some of that 600 billion or whatever trillion, whatever number it's going to be, is going to go towards AI infrastructure inside the United States. And that's really what this is going to take. It's going to take a massive amount of infrastructure, and that is somewhat of the difference between this and the internet boom from the late 90s, is that it does require this massive investment. And then you have to get everybody on the same page. If we really don't want China to take the lead here and us end up in a situation where we have to buy this from them. We'd rather be the lead on it, stay the lead on it. So it requires a full court press in all facets. And so it's not just the private companies, it's governments, it's all that kind of working together, and it's going to take a massive amount of money wherever it comes from.
So I think one of the questions that comes up with this is it just going to make rich people richer and put more pressure on middle class and poor people because it's going to threaten their jobs? Elon Musk, makes literally the opposite case, or did make the opposite case today. Here's what Elon said.
AI and humanoid robots will actually eliminate poverty. If you go out long enough, assuming there's a continued improvement in AI and robotics, which seems likely, the money will stop being relevant at some point in the future.
I know, people are going to look and say, well, okay, that's something. Money's going to stop being relevant, so go ahead.
That's a little abstract for me. I mean, I deal with money every day, so it's very abstract.
Pretty relevant.
Yeah, so look, I think that there are always winners and losers in every technology. You can go all the way back to, when the auto came out, and what were we going to do with all the people who made bicycles? I mean, it's always that. And so there's something coming down the line. You have to remain relevant. People will morph into other careers. There'll be these things that pop up as a result of these jobs that might get lost somewhere else that support this in many other facets. So I don't know how it's all going to play out. I don't think Elon even knows, although he might have a clue based on how much he is into it. Right. But there's a lot of opportunity, and I think this is the point. You really have to embrace this and not be afraid of it. You have to embrace it and go to it, because there is a lot of opportunity, and there will be people left behind. So what we do with that, maybe that's solved in some other ways.
Well, Elon knows. If you look on the internet, you'll see this. He knows. He came from the future. Somebody put him back here, so he's got the whole thing figured out.
That's possible.
I do want to talk about Nvidia. So after 4 p.m., which is in a few minutes, after the closing bell rings on Wall Street, Nvidia, which is this huge company when it comes to AI. At one point, it was valued at $5 trillion. It's going to report earnings. Its CEO did, have what you might say is more realistic commentary on AI and jobs, okay, and what the influence of AI is going to be on our job market. Here's what he said today.
These jobs will be different. I think that's for sure. How the students learn will be different. How people do their work will be different, obviously, because a lot of the things that we do mundanely or arduously or very difficultly are going to be done very simply.
Yeah, I mean, we already see that, right? It's just not at where it's going to be, but you can kind of see where it's going. Well, not exactly, but you kind of have a sense. So net, is there any scenario that you imagine over the next 5 years or so where it's not tough on us? Where, in other words, it's not a job, it's not a retraction in jobs, a loss of jobs, that we stay the same or even add jobs?
Well, I think this is more in line with what I think, and I think this is a more realistic view, and Elon may be a more futuristic view on how he's looking at it. But I think that's what this is. He's mentioning there's going to be different types of jobs, and so you can't rely on, hey, this is what we've always done. I've always been a fill in the blank, and you may not be able to do that. There'll be different jobs. Perhaps there'll be better jobs, higher paying jobs. Everyone will benefit. There will definitely be jobs that go away as a result of this, just by the nature of anyone who's really used AI. You can see see that they just from the research and the capabilities of it. So I think that's where this goes in the short run, and then long term, other things will prop out of it, just like it did with the internet age and all the stuff that came out of it. Many people wouldn't think we're here based on when the first, Pets.com launched, if you remember that sock puppet.
Poor Pets.com is always associated with disaster. That's always the example everybody uses. There'll be one or two from this era as well, I think, when we look back. Not you, Optimum. All right, Doug, thank you. Doug Flynn there with the market look for us as we have the closing bell.